Hello, welcome in the new part, new with the new point, hunger, hardship, and popular revolt. Again, we are turning toward the revolt, which taken place in the Europe. How this revolt taken place and where we will see. 1830s were the great economic hardship in Europe. In the period of 1830s, the great economic hardship was there. What is hardship? We will see here first. I think you remember the subsistence crisis which taken place in the France. In that way, the hardship period was also occurred in Europe in 1830s. The period is 1830s. Why it happened? For what were the reasons for this economic hardship? The enormous increase in the population. The first reason was increasing in the population. When population increases, automatically unemployment occurs. When unemployment is there, people migrate from one place to another place, mostly from rural to cities. On the other hand, the stiff competition from import of cheap machine-made goods. The machine-made goods were imported from the England to Europe. That was also reason for this hardship. And then also the aristocracy still enjoyed their privileges, and so in this way there was the prices increased of the foods. So in detail all these points we will see here. The first half of the 19th century, it is 1830 means it is 19th century, saw the enormous increase in the population all over Europe. In this period the population increased. Most countries were more seekers of jobs. In many countries the unemployment was more. The job seekers were more than the available employment. Population from rural areas migrated to the cities, and these people started to live in the slums. So overcrowded slums occurred in the Europe. Small producers, those were small businessmen in the towns, were faced stiff competition from the import of the cheap machined made goods from England. The industrialization started earlier in the England than the rest of Europe. So the cheap machine produced product or the goods were imported in the Europe, and this was the reason for the stiff competition for the newly businessmen. The industrialization was more advanced on the continent. So England were having more industrialization or the advanced industrialization than the continent. This was especially so in the textile production. Mostly it was seen in the textile production, which was carried out mainly in homes or small workshops. The textile industries were working not only in the big industries, but it was working at home or a small workshop. These workshop or the small home people who are producing at home affected due to the this import. Only partially mechanized workshop were remain alive or others were started to suffer. In the same way, this case we have seen in the India also happened when British came in India or the British goods came in India. What happened with the Indian handicraft? That was same happen here. In those regions of Europe, there where aristocracy still enjoyed power. In many regions, the aristocracy was enjoying their privileges. Peasants struggled under the burden of feudal dues and the obligations. Same situation which was having before the French Revolution, the same you can see now here in the Europe. This was the period of hardship and the hunger. When one hand the population is increasing, other hand the rise of food prices also taken place because of two reasons, the rise of the population and the bad harvest led the widespread pauperism, poverty in the town and country. Not only in the villages but in town and country also. On both sides, in the villages and in the town, everywhere the pauperism were seen in this period. This was the time of hardship in the Europe. Now turning towards especially France, in year 1848 was one such year. Food shortage and widespread unemployment brought the population of Paris out on the road. The food shortage and the unemployment. Because of these reasons, the population came on the road in the Paris. Barricades were erected, broken, and Louis Philippe was forced to flee. It is a past of fly. He left the country. Louis Philippe left the country because people were thinking the Louis Philippe was the reason for the food shortage and the unemployment. Whenever something is wrong happening in the country, people blames on the government or the leader. That is why here also there was blame on the Philip that he is the reason for the food shortage and the unemployment. After leaving Philip the country, the National Assembly proclaimed a republic. Republic means the head of government is elected by the people. That government is called republic. So the National Assembly proclaimed here as a republic. This guaranteed suffrage to all adult male above 21. The right to vote. All the male, those who are above 21 got right to vote and guaranteed the right to work. National workshop to provide employment were set up. To create the employment, the national workshops were created. So in this way, the revolution in 1848 of France we have seen in this part. We are looking the age of revolutions. So again one revolution we will see here in this part. In 1845, we were in Silesia. The Silesia was part province. Now it is given, it's some part given to the Germany, some given to the Great Republic. So this not remain in the earlier time. 1845 viewers in Silesia handled revolt against contractor. The contractor was providing work to these people, to these weavers, who supplied them raw material and gave them order. The contractor was giving raw material and giving order for the finished goods, finished textile, but drastically reduced their payment. On the other hand, he reduced the payment. The journalist William Wolfe described this event in the following way. See how the people broke out their anger. In the village, cotton weaving is the most widespread occupation. This village, the cotton weaving was the most widespread occupation. The misery of the workers is extreme. The people are having suffers. That was not easy. It's were very extreme. The suffers were extreme. Desperate, needing for the job. These people were needing the job. Has been taken advantage by the contractors. So that is what the contractors were taking advantage and they reduced the prices of goods they ordered. This was the reason for the revolt in the Silesia. We have seen the revolt in the Silesia and in France. In this part, to revolt again we have seen. Again in the next point we will see another revolts. That is why this is called the age of revolutions.